Good morning. Hey, Instagram. Facebook's taking a while. Here we go. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, podcasters. And good morning, YouTubers, wherever you're watching this or listening to this. Today, the title is, Will Weight Loss Feel as Great as You Think It Will Feel? It's a good question, right? So there's a few things I want to discuss about this topic. So what do you think will be different once you lose the weight that you want to lose? Will you be more loved, more liked, more popular? Take a second and actually answer this for yourself. Now, how would you feel if you lost weight and these things didn't happen? So what if you lost weight and your life actually didn't get better? Which is any kind of weight loss advertisement always advertise the fact that if you buy this pill, magic potion, diet, whatever, then your life is all of a sudden miraculously going to get better. And we like to believe in that dream because it keeps us motivated. It keeps us looking for that next quick fix to feel better. But what if actually sometimes when you do lose weight, your life can get worse? And I think it's really important to prepare yourself for the negative emotions that can come with weight loss. Of course, there's also positives and negatives to everything, but we often don't look at the negative things that can come as a result of weight loss, because unless you expect your life to get worse in some different ways, which I'll explain in a moment, you will continue to self-sabotage because your current reality will not match up to the fantasy in your head. That's where self-sabotage happens, when life gets worse, but you expect it to be better. So you reach for something like food, for example, to numb the pain of this expectation that hasn't happened. I have an episode called Expectation Hangover, so check that out. You reach for food to numb the pain, which puts you right back to square one. And I know this is a big pill to swallow, so I'm going to explain it in a bit more detail because I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, and I'm definitely not slating weight loss, by the way. I just want to make it clear to you that if your life goal is to reach a certain body size or certain weight, then it won't be as good as you think it will be when you get there. So those that struggle with overeating often fantasize about life at a lighter weight. I personally did this and sometimes still do, if I'm being honest, sometimes. So some examples of weight loss fantasies include getting so much praise from others, being looked up to everybody, and everyone's like, oh my God, how did you do it? Let me share your secrets with me. Hey, Mike. AKA that is external validation. So getting praise from others is external validation. Another weight loss myth, which you might think you will feel when you've achieved this quote unquote perfect body, is you'll be the hottest person in the room, so you'll clearly need a stick to beat away the men or the women, for you guys watching. AKA you'll feel more loved and more lusted if you're at this perfect body, okay? And number 3, which is another myth, you could have mind-blowing sex, because once you don't feel insecure about your body, then you won't be in your head at this intimate time. So AKA all of your body image worries will disappear. Now, what if none of that actually happened? What if you lost the weight and then the praise didn't come? What if the sex still intimidated you? And what if men or women weren't fighting over you? You see, the reality of weight loss isn't as pretty as the magazines and the billboard ads point it out to be. So when you lose weight, I guarantee that certain parts of your life will get more difficult. So just bear with me. There is a reason that I'm telling you these things. Hey, Bells. So yes, if you do lose weight, you've got this perfect fantasy in your head about the body you want to achieve, which if you get there, might not be as great as you think it's going to be. So although some parts of your life will get better, for example, like enjoying your new body, other parts will get worse. So let me give you an example. So you'll have to deal with others behaving with jealousy and edginess around you, because now you've heightened their insecurities with your new body. So people might act differently to you. This is where you find out, who your real friends are and who's going to support you and who wants to bring you back down to their level. And I don't mean this from a point of view where they're purposely trying to be nasty, but a lot of people are so insecure within themselves that when they see people doing well or have something that they want, without realizing it, they try to drag you back down to their level. So that it's everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. And it's not their fault. It's just the way, it's their paradigm that they're in and the mindset that they're in, okay? So you'll deal with more failures because now that weight loss isn't sucking up all of your time, you've moved on to bigger things, and those things that you move on to come with risks. So you can also deal with more rejection, because if you start to put yourself out there more, you'll increase the chances of rejection. So I know I'm listing a whole load of negative things, but I just want to make it clear to you that this weight loss isn't this miracle pill. So why am I telling you all this awful stuff? So I'm sharing this harsh reality so that you don't self-sabotage. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Danny. So for preparing for life to get worse, you won't fall back into compulsion if and when it happens. So I'm not saying you should be a pessimist and expect everything bad to happen, but I do expect you to be realistic. Always see the glass as half full and not half empty, but expect that this perfect body that you're striving towards won't cure everything in your life. Like, it's not going to make everything better. It can improve your health, it can improve your mindset, depending on where you're coming from with regards to your food choices. That's a whole nother topic. You know what I think about diet. You can change your body from achieving a healthy lifestyle and healthy habits, which is what I encourage my clients to do, after they've gotten over the initial freaking out with the food in their head. They need to go through the process of just allowing all foods first, not feeling bad or guilty for eating something or not eating something, and then they can start to work on building healthy habits. And alongside healthy habits and a healthy lifestyle comes a healthy body and a fit and strong body. So you can change your body without dieting, but it won't make your life all of a sudden better. So another way of saying this is, if you're trying to stop overeating so that you can feel better in your life, it might not necessarily work. You might need to feel worse in the short term to enhance your character in the long term. So what do I mean by this? Practices like stopping what you're doing, getting real with yourself, and just like connecting and feeling into your body, which I know sounds a bit strange and a bit boring. I get it. I tell this story a lot, but when I first started working with a coach and she was like, well, you need to meditate every day, I was like, oh, really? Like, seriously, I do not want to sit down for 10 minutes and just do nothing. But I did it because I wanted to heal, right? And meditation is amazing for so many different things. And I don't mean you just got to meditate every 5 seconds you want to eat something. All I mean is that if you're wanting to eat emotionally, which again, check out my previous article on what is emotional eating, because it's not a bad thing, it's actually an act of self-care. Yes, emotional eating might not be serving you or your goals, but to simply say, well, I'm just not going to eat emotionally, it doesn't work, because especially if you've got the diet binge cycle brain, you'll always eat more if you tell yourself you're not going to eat emotionally. So check out that episode if you want to know more about that. But I'm talking about feeling your feelings. So when we reach for food when we're not actually hungry, we're just bored or we're sad or whatever, if we just can get into the habit of just being like, okay, I'm just going to get present for a minute, check in with myself and be like, what am I actually feeling? Because we all live in our heads. We don't actually take time to connect with these wonderful, amazing bodies we have that are like so intelligent. It's unbelievable. The best nutritionist in the whole world, by the way, is your own body. You just need to learn how to listen. So if we can practice just checking in with ourselves, putting your hand on your heart, taking a few big, slow, deep breaths, and just asking yourself, like, imagine you talking to yourself like you would talk to a little child, or if you're not a baby person like me, like a little puppy or something. Like, how are you actually feeling right now? What do you need? Is food something you want to use to take care of yourself, or maybe there's something else you can do instead that will work more towards your goals. So the point I'm getting at is, the more we practice feeling these uncomfortable feelings that we all have coming up in our lives, the more we'll get resilient at feeling these feelings, and we won't want to run away from them, because, you know, as humans, we're wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure. Of course, that's obvious. But when we don't actually sit and feel the negative feelings, we can never cope with them. But it's like a muscle. Everything's like a muscle. Self-love is like a muscle. Self-care. Anything that you practice, you're going to get better at. So at the beginning, if you want to eat when you're bored and you remember my voice going, well, sit with your emotions for a minute, and you're like, whatever, try it. It's going to be uncomfortable as hell. But the more you practice sitting there and speak the emotion out loud, be like, I feel bored. Because then you're giving the emotion space to exist. So speak it even out loud or in your head, like, I just feel fucking bored. Sorry for swearing. But, you know, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to run away from boredom. You can literally just sit and feel boredom and then make a conscious decision what you do next. It's all about that, those few split seconds before you react out of habit. You know, this can rewire your brain, because in order to change something, we need to try saying rewire. It's actually quite hard. We need to rewire our brains. And the only way we can do this is by stopping for that second before we're about to do something that we always usually do. So where was I? I went off track with my blog, but let me get back on track. So why did you sign up for this? As in, why are you listening to this? All this negative stuff about when you reach your ideal body, it won't make your life like a million times better. Because I want to make it clear to you that there's also positive things that will come of getting your ideal body, right? You will get shit done now, because now you've stopped trying to please everybody. You can finally take action to accomplish your other goals that are outside food and body goals. And you can move with momentum. Now you've stopped doubting yourself so much, you'll have more time to do other things. And you'll achieve more success in the long run, because with all the action that you're taking, because of all this mental space you've freed up, then you're increasing your risk of failure. But, you know, we have to fail forward. All these successful people in the world have had more failures than they can even remember, but that's how we get better. So we can't just expect to go, you know, there's no such thing as an overnight success with anything. Even these fad diets, if it sounds too good to be true, then it actually is, because it takes work, dedication, and consistency. So I believe life is supposed to be 50% good and 50% bad, whatever you want to call bad, because I actually believe negative emotions are actually a good thing, because we can learn from them, we can grow from them, and then after we've done that, we can also teach others how to go through the bad times, because everything has an opposite. If we didn't have the light, we wouldn't have the dark, vice versa. You know, tall is the opposite to short. We have a brain that needs to work on opposites so we can understand and communicate with each other. So if we didn't have anything bad go on in our lives, hey guys, how would we know the good things? You know, so if it's like, I've always said I would never want to live like abroad in a sunny place, because you know how now you go on holiday, or now the weather's beautiful, you wake up and you're like, oh my God, what a beautiful day. If you had that like every single day of the year, I personally believe you would start to take it for granted, because as human beings, that's what we do. So yeah, we can make a conscious effort to stay in gratitude and in gratefulness, but the more you have it, the less you'd appreciate it. But imagine if, like in England and in the Netherlands, you have days where it rains and where it's cold and all that stuff. When the sunny day does come around, you're like really more appreciative of it. So I believe that in life, if everything was good in life all the time, then how would you appreciate the good as much? So we need to take the ebbs and flows of life as it comes. So try this belief on for yourself. So try to imagine that life isn't supposed to be good all the time. And actually, if we kind of think half it's supposed to be uncomfortable and half it's supposed to be amazing, then when the bad times do come around, you'll know that good times are coming. It's all about your mindset as well. I mean, yeah, I do believe it's 50-50, but even in the 50% of negativity, I'm going through uncomfortableness, but I also know I'm going to grow from it and come out even stronger on the other side. So this is your invitation to feel your feelings, practice feeling your feelings, expect life to suck after weight loss, because again, even though the media say otherwise, just because you've lost weight and got your ideal body or whatever is not going to miraculously, is that even a word? No, miraculously, that's probably better. It's not going to miraculously make your world a better place. So it's time to surrender to your feelings, accept that there's good times and bad times, and let yourself be shaped by the courage that it takes to feel your emotions and then ride all those emotions out. So that's the end of my little talk today. I know I started off with talking about weight loss and it kind of went in a bit of a tangent about other life stuff. That's always what I do. Hope it was helpful. Thanks to those who's watched or watching still. And I love you all. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye. Oh no, I'm doing something wrong. Oh, viewers. Seriously, guys, I should know how to use Instagram right now. Have a nice day. Love you. Let me end on Facebook. Love you guys.